Hey everyone, I want to talk about both basic shapes and Boolean operations because these are some pretty cool things that you can do in Figma. So let's jump right in. So up here in our toolbar, we're going to have our shapes and we can basically see all our shapes. We'll see our rectangle, our line, arrow, ellipse, polygon, star, and their associated shortcuts on the left-hand side. So an example is for rectangle, if I just press R, I have it selected and I could draw a rectangle. And a rectangle basically will be able to create both rectangles and squares. Now, if I select L, I have the line tool and I can make horizontal lines like that, or I can make some vertical lines. Let me just select L again. I'm holding shift because if I hold shift, I can create squares that are actual squares instead of like rectangles. If I hold shift here, I can basically create lines that are very straight and not on an angle. So if I want a vertical roll like that or a vertical roll like that, I'll hold shift to do that. So I'm just going to select those and turn them into white rolls because I'm using the dark mode in Figma. And we have arrows. So that's shift L. So you can just draw an arrow like this. Turn that into a white arrow, and you can set the settings here, whether that's like a triangular arrow. You can set like the back, whether it's like a little circle. You can set the stroke. So you can create arrows also within Figma, which is really helpful. You can also create ellipses and circles. So I'm going to press O, and O is going to allow me to do that so that you can create ovals. So you can both create ovals, and if you hold shift, you'll be able to create circles. And these can be used as they are or manipulated to create custom shapes with curved lines. So you can create like pie charts like that. You know, some pretty cool stuff. I'm just going to go back. You'll see this little dot pop up, this arc. And then you can create like your pie chart as you see fit. So really cool. Oh, I created like a little Pac-Man there, but really cool feature that Figma has released here. And we have the polygon. Polygon does not have a shortcut, so we're just going to select that. Now, the polygon tool allows you to draw an enclosed shape that is made up of any number of straight lines. So I'm just going to draw it, and the default one right now is the triangle, but I can adjust the radius. I can also adjust the count to make like hexagons and so on and octagons and yeah. So I mean, you can really create some pretty cool shapes just with the polygon tool. And then we have the star tool, which is really cool as well. And it kind of functions very much like the polygon tool. So if I take this, I can, make it a little more chunkier. I can make the radius a little more softer, and then I can increase the count or decrease the count. So lots of cool different shapes that can come out of both the polygon and the star tool. Now, if you're really into, creating unique or complex shapes, you can build your own vector networks using Figma's pen tool. And that's over here, right beside the shapes dropdown. So if I select that, or, if I select P, I can create these little lines and connect them to create some cool things. I can give that a fill. I can also go back and adjust like the curves if I want to. So if you're really into doing stuff like that, the pen tool is your friend. And let's talk about Boolean operations. So we have the union tool. So I'm going to actually start fresh here, just lower. I'm going to press O and get the ellipse, holding down shift. And I'm going to make another one. So now I have both of these layers. So as you can tell, this one's over this one. And if I want to make like a moon, I can select both. And here I have my Boolean operations. I can merge them together. So that's your union. So I have these two circles. Actually, let me just like grab a square as well. Like we can make some pretty unique things. So I have my square here or my rectangle, and I'm going to just pick a new color for it. Oops. So there's my new color. And I'm going to select both and go to Boolean operation. So the union selection. So what this does is it combines the shapes into like a group. So it doesn't matter what's overlapping what, it will essentially just become like a group like this. You're going to basically take the color from the overlapping shape in this instance. Now I'm going to undo that and let's look at the next one. We have subtract. Now subtract is basically the opposite of union. It removes the area of a shape or set of shapes from the shape on the bottom. Only the bottom layer is solid and the rest are subtracted from it. So let's see. So we have like a half circle here. Now the next one is the intersect selection. Now this one's actually really interesting because the intersect creates a group where the shape consists only of the overlapping parts of the layers. So do you see how only this is going to show up when I select that intersect selection? And the last one is exclude. That's right here. And exclude is essentially the opposite of intersect. Exclude only shows the areas of its sublayers that do not overlap. And that is how you use shapes and Boolean operations.